Oh, Murph. Nolan Arenado to the St. Louis Cardinals. Third baseman making a ton of money, leaving Coors Field, and its high elevation effects on the baseball. Will this affect Nolan Arenado's game?
No. Maybe? No. I don't know. I'm going to say no, but yeah, I'm just going to say no. I don't think it's going to affect his game. If you look at like a guy like DJ, people are saying the same thing about him, how the Coors effect was going to hit him. He goes to New York, he actually gets better. His road/home stats actually get better. They're trying to make the argument that Nolan's like not the same case, that he won't have that same type of like number boost. I call BS. I think Nolan's one of the best third basemen in the league. In fact, I'd say he's the best third baseman in the league, both defensively and offensively. So I'm not worried about his stats at all.
Big facts, best third baseman in the league.
Yeah, I'm not worried about his stats at all. I think he's going to go and he's going to be a beast like he always is. And he needs to be a beast because this Cardinals team is in a really good position at win this division. This is a very weak division.
Especially after some of the trades that went on this offseason.
Yeah, like the
Cubs are gone. Chris Bryant's going to be gone soon, in my opinion. There's literally no other team. They have this division.
Yeah, I mean, look, who's your biggest competition? I guess you could argue the Cubs are their biggest competition, only because they still have some serious talent on that team. But at the end of the day, I think they're getting ready to blow that team up. I think, like you said, Bryant's out the window. They've already traded Darvish. They already released Schwarber. I think it's only a matter of time before they just continue tearing this team down. I heard Contreras is on the market. Bryant's on the market
Rizzo
for
on
sure.
The board?
Rizzo, I have no idea. I don't know who would take him is the problem.
Yeah. Because he's kind of one of those pull-happy lefties,
and he's an older guy. He's not what he used to be, right? When they won the ring, he was that guy. He used to be one of those guys at first base, but he's not that guy anymore. He's good, but he's not like, let me send a whole bunch of prospects over for it, right?
Yeah.
So you never know. He could be on the move, but I wouldn't expect a major deal for that. But either way, I think the Cubs are blowing it up. The Cincinnati Reds don't have much to stand on anymore. They traded. Well, they're losing two-thirds of their rotation. Most likely, Sonny Gray is on the trade market, and they should really move him.
Is he a free agent?
Or Sonny Gray? No, he's not a free agent, but there's serious talks that they're going to move him, and they should. I think keeping him is kind of a waste. Maybe they wait till the trade deadline to get some real serious deals out there, especially if Sonny Gray performs like he has been since he's left the Yankees.
Mm-hmm. They can easily get a bunch of prospects for him.
Yeah.
And if they trade Luis Castillo too, they're gonna have they may end up having one of the top farm teams
they easily could.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. You got the Milwaukee Brewers, they're not good, and the Pittsburgh Pirates are not good. So
Pittsburgh Pirates won't be in the mix for a playoff appearance for the next, I would say, 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
They have never been in the talks of signing people. They haven't made any big trades that has affected them positively, in my opinion. You haven't seen any of what people they've traded for or, gotten actually pan out to help them. What was the last time they made it? With Garrett Cole in 2011, 2012, 13?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
It was like the Reds versus the Pirates in the playoffs, and I just remember Russell Martin starting the game. And I remember Cueto dropping the ball on the mound because Pittsburgh was so loud for their one playoff appearance. Sorry, Pittsburgh. You guys have been enormous help to the Keep Smiling Foundation. But
that will not save you right now.
As much as you want to help us, it will not save you in the MLB. It'll help you morally, but not in the MLB. You got the Brewers, who their hater is on the block apparently too, right?
Yeah, and there's talks that the Rays and the Padres might be in on it. Don't know why the Rays would go after him. That's weird to me.
They don't need a bullpen piece.
That's good bullpen. There would be moving some serious prospects for an unnecessary piece. They need offense more than anything, so I don't know why they would be going out and trying to trade for a reliever when they got such a top bullpen in the league. So that makes no sense to me. The Padres could really use a Hader. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a run for him.
That because they lost Yates.
They lost Yates, their closer. They could really use some more bullpen help. So
you think they'd give up Gore for him?
The way it's looking now, maybe they've signed a lot of starting depth, so they could look to do that. I would hope not. I would hope they try to like sell them on a couple other prospects. They still got like I think 6 other top 100 prospects outside of Gore. So I don't know. It depends. What I heard the asking is crazy for Hader, like insane.
Which I mean, rightfully so. He's one of the best relievers in the league, if not one or two. But the Rays, they don't need him. They need offense. They don't need pitching. They have Nick Anderson, one of the best relievers in baseball. The Brewers they also have to reevaluate like how they're going to structure their team around Yelich because Yelich really didn't have that good of a season last year. It was kind of an abysmal season for him to what he normally does. And again, he's coming back off an injury, short season, but we'll see about that. But back to my man Nolan.
Back to Nolan.
You think he's taking another Gold Glove again in St. Louis? Like, is he bringing that home?
Yeah. I mean, the defense is going to change just because he's changed fields, but I don't like who else can like rival him. Maybe
not Machado. I mean,
maybe Machado, but I don't know. He just hasn't been that Gold Glove caliber guy
that he was with the Orioles.
Yeah, so I don't, and he doesn't need to be fair, but like I just think Nolan's just too good. I don't see who could compete with him for a Gold Glove in the NL.
Probably the best fielder in baseball, I'd say.
Nolan. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him play other positions and just see how good he'd be there, like a shortstop. I'd be really interested to see what he could do there. But yeah, I think the defense is going to stay the same. I think he's got to be everything he was for the Rockies and more if he really wants to make a serious playoff push with the St. Louis Cardinals team. Because I think they're an okay team. It's hard to really judge them based off of last year because COVID just destroyed their season, if we're being honest. But if you're looking at the rotation, you're looking at Jack Flaherty, Wainwright, and then kind of iffy from then on. So, and even Wainwright didn't really have a great season last year. So it's tough to say for sure what you're dealing with the St. Louis Cardinals. They got okay bullpen. They still got Jordan Hicks, who's just a beast of a reliever there.
He's making his comeback this year. I think it's going to be great. Can't wait to watch. You got Arenado going to a league now. I mean, a division that I think Castillo may end up being kept by the Reds and put as their number one, and Sonny Gray may be gone soon, I think. If that happens, there is actually no pitching in that division when you look at it.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's like the Milwaukee. Who's the Milwaukee got? They got Woodruff?
Brandon Woodruff and other guy, Corbin Burns.
Corbin Burns is good, yeah.
They're both very good, but they're not gonna like, knock Arenado's average down. They may take a point off of it because he flew out to the warning track. But there is literally no one in the NL Central. Central? Yes.
Yeah, Central. Yeah.
Just checking. Who? Like the Cubs. What? If Kyle Hendricks is going to be on the move, who's their pitching staff? I don't even know a starter.
It's Davies.
Alec Mills. The guy who threw the no-hitter.
And Davies. They got Davies. Zach Davies.
Yeah. Another guy who throws, 89, So he could mess around and throw up a monstrous season, I think, if we play a full 162 game, 154 game, whatever they want to play. As long as it's over 100 games.
Over 120 games, then I'm good.
Facts. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You got to let the players get hot.
Yeah. I got to see the full season because last year, if you look, when we went on that terrible losing streak, that wouldn't have been a big deal if it was a full 162 because then, this like the excuse like, we're just finding our rhythm, right? We're just still getting warm. And then, he of course got hot again. But like most teams have that, right? You start off slow, you get to the middle where you're starting to pick it up, and then finally by the end of the season, you want to be at your peak form going into playoffs. And I think with this BS 60 game season, it was like you got to start off hot and you got to stay hot. And if you don't start off hot, you're pretty much out of the running.
And then once you do go in a rut, it's very hard to get because you're going to get down on yourselves right away. So, like, that really affects baseball. I mean, did they add – I think Ken Griffey Jr. now is the advisor to the commissioner now. I saw something on him.
Yeah, I think so.
That would hopefully he knocks some sense into that guy. I don't know, Manfred.
Yep.
That horrible, disgusting trash can of a human being. He needs to be voted out.
He's not gonna get voted out.
What?
He's not gonna get voted out because he signs with the owners. He's like in any position where it's players versus owners. He's been on the owner's side. He's like not even hesitating, right? He claims to want to better the game, right? But he's employing rules that are not bettering the game, right? He wants to add a pitching clock, right? Who's that helping? That's helping no one. That's not going to fix the game. What, he's shaving off maybe like 5 minutes throughout the whole game?
In fact, our game, a baseball game, is shorter than a football game.
Yeah, because there's probably
there's
commercials. I don't know.
Fucking commercials. Sorry, but it's like 3 hours 18 minutes to 3 hours and 16 minutes. It's 2 extra minutes. Baseball's really not that long. You people who say it's way too long, you are impatient guys.
Well, it's because there's not the argument is there's not enough action, right? At least in football, there's like nonstop action. You could argue, right? And like if you're not a true baseball fan, you don't get it. Like you just see a schmuck throwing a ball to another schmuck behind the plate catching it, right? You're not seeing the intricacies, the chess moves that are going on to make that happen, right? You're just like, that guy catches the ball, that guy throws the ball, and if that guy doesn't hit it enough, he goes sits his ass down, right? That's what you think. He's done. That's what they think, right? But they don't see how in-depth, how intellectual the game really is. It's a mental game, which is why,
it's almost a chess game.
Yeah, it really is, especially in the pitching.
It just, Manfred and I would not get along.
I don't think Manfred and anybody would get along.
Yeah, it's just this guy. I really don't like him. We can do a whole episode of just me, without not even Murph here, just me talking to the camera about how much I hate the man. It'll be like an hour-long rant video of what I do to the guy if I met him in person. Actually, my university even had him on a talk. I was going to go on the talk and be like, yo, where's the Astros suspension? Just blow up the meeting,
Just blow up the spot.
Blow up his spot, make him leave the Zoom meeting. I probably wouldn't have been able to chat, but screw that guy. We're going off track here. Back to Nolan Arenado.
Back to Nolan.
What do you think this guy's numbers are going to look like in St. Louis?
He's hitting over 300.
With ease?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's hitting over 300.
He hit he hit what was he, like 290, 300 roughly with the Rockies in a good pitching division?
Yeah, I think he hit like 300 pretty consistently around there.
Too much to say, though. A good pitching division.
No, they were a good pitching division. I mean,
because you have the Dodgers.
So the Dodgers have always been good. Well, now the Padres have been good, but before when Nolan was there, they weren't great. They didn't really have that many exceptional pitchers. The Dodgers have always had good pitching. I think Arizona had okay pitching. The Giants had Mad Bum, who was a beast. So he's faced some serious guys, right? And not to mention, he's been able to, play other divisions with other talented pitchers. But I think if he was there now, I would be almost more worried for Nolan now in that division because of how good the Padres and Dodgers are in terms of pitching. But yeah, going to the Central, the pitching's weak. He's going to obviously be playing way more games against the Central and their weak ass pitching. Like there's literally I don't see the ace on any of these teams other than obviously St. Louis, who has Jack Flaherty, who's probably, If there were Cy Youngs for divisions, he would win it, no questions asked. He wouldn't even have to look at anybody else. He would win the Cy Young for that division 10 out of 10 times because there's nobody in that division who could touch him in terms of talent.
Yes.
So,
He's 100 times, like 10 out of 10 always.
Actually, Luis Castillo is close, so I take that back. But we'll say 9 out of 10 times Flaherty because I think Flaherty is just better. Luis Castillo is still very talented, mind you, and I think he has the potential to be as good, if not better, than Flaherty. But this is a very weak division in terms of pitching is the overall thing, and I think Nolan's not gonna have a problem hitting these guys. And he's already used to the NL as a whole. He's probably hit against all these aces of these staffs, with the exception of a lot of these San Diego guys. Probably I don't know if he's hit Lamet a lot. I don't know if he's hit Paddock a lot. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, I maybe even Snell. I'm not even sure if he's faced Snell. Has he?
Probably not. I would assume just because the Rays. I really haven't seen a Rays Rockies game.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I think I would imagine maybe once, twice, but I wouldn't think it's a large sample size. So I don't know. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, Nolan's still a beast, and I don't think his offensive stats are going to take a significant dip like everyone says they are. I think he's going to start off probably slow, and then he's going to pick it up towards the end, and he's not going to look back, or towards the middle, and he's not going to look back.
Possible NL MVP finalist.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to say that, only because he hasn't even been in that discussion in previous years, really.
Yeah.
When's the last time he was in a discussion for MVP? I can't even remember.
The Bellinger year, maybe.
Was he?
With the 50 when Bellinger hit 50-something homers.
I think you're right. I think he was third. But either way, he wasn't coming. Belly had that, no questions asked. So
there was no one better than him in the NL that year.
I think the NL has a lot of talented guys who can go out and win it. So I think it'd be tough for me to see Nolan win it above most of these guys, but he could get in the discussion.
Mm-hmm. And if he does good enough, can you see him staying with the Cardinals or opting out? Because you did say that they reworked his contract. He doesn't have he has an opt out next year.
Yep.
But he's got a lot of money coming to him this year.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I heard that he might be deferring some money. I heard he might be getting some more money. No idea. I do know. Yeah, I know for sure he's got the opt-outs getting moved to next year. So in 2022, he has a potential opt-out. If I were him, I'd opt out because at the end of the day, the St. Louis team is okay, but it's not good enough to compete with the likes of the Dodgers, the Padres, and more than likely the Mets or the Braves. Right? Yeah. Those are probably the top 4 teams in the NL. So I don't think the Cardinals have the muscle to stand up with those guys. If I were him, I'd opt out. And it wouldn't be that hard for him to find, especially if he does well this year, it wouldn't be that hard for him to get a pretty significant contract. So,
will he get the same kind of deal, you think, or no?
How old would he be? How old would he be? He'd be 32, 33. He could probably get north of 20 for sure.
Yeah.
Probably north of 25. It all depends how he performs this year. Because if he performs bad, then people are going to be the Coors effect is a real thing, and Nolan only did well because he was in the court. He's in Colorado. Mm-hmm. But if he can do what I think he's going to do and really perform, at worst hit I'd say the worst he's going to do is hit 275. That'd be the worst I think he's going to do.
Yeah.
And if he does that, then maybe his numbers dip a bit, but if he can hit 300 like I expect him to, I think he's going to get a pretty good payday. He's going to be able to choose where he wants to go.
Where does this leave, the Rockies? Because they're going to – Story's on the market next year.
I think he's on the market now. I think they need to trade him ASAP.
But, this – again, I really don't see the Rockies doing it. It's going to be a very hard – for them to because they had Arenado, Story, they had a really good team, and there's the pitching and the Coors effect, in my opinion, and they have Charlie Blackmon too. He had has good years, It's just I don't know what's gonna happen with the Rockies now because they only have Chuck Nasty, dude.
I mean, yeah. If you looked at this team, once upon a time, they had DJ, they had Nolan, they had Story, they had Blackman, right?
Hmm.
Those are 4 guys all hitting over 300 consistently, right? And then people make the arguments the course effect. Obviously, that's like the number one knock against all these players. And I think Trevor Story is the real deal. I think Nolan's the real deal. I think everybody, especially after what DJ's been doing for us. So I think that the Rockies, if the Rockies are smart, they do themselves in and they just blow up this team. They trade anybody and everybody worth value, and they just go try to get themselves a better farm system. Because I think Story is for sure gone now because his partner in crime, Nolan's gone. I think he definitely sees that this team is going to be rebuilding for a while. And if I'm Story, I'm not wasting my good years, my prime years, in a team that's going to be rebuilding. So Story's gone next year. So if they're smart, they're going to trade him. They're probably going to trade him at the deadline, though. They're probably going to give themselves that false confidence, that false sense of security. We're like, we can probably still do something in the division. They can't. They got the Dodgers and the Padres.
The division for them, it's literally just the Dodgers and the Padres. No one.
Yeah, it's literally who can finish third and not get embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because if you finish third in this division, you're not making playoffs anyway. So I don't know why it matters. So if you're the Rockies, the smart thing to do would be just sell all your assets. And I'm talking, trade Story, trade Herman, German Marquez. Is that his name, the pitcher?
Freeland, maybe too.
Freeland doesn't have much value. John Gray, I heard he's on the market. So just trade anybody who's worth a damn at this point. There's not much of a bright future there right now. So I'd blow up the spot. I'd blow it up.
I got one last question for you. Where would you like Trevor Story to land, and what teams do you think can go get the guy?
I want these guys to go get him. I want these guys to go get him.
Yes, sir.
And we could do it. It would be tough because then you have to move some pieces around, and it probably really means that Luke Voigt's getting traded. What it ultimately means if you go out and try to get a Trevor Story. But I think you got to do it. I think this guy's a beast. I really like Trevor Story. I think he's easily, right now, probably a top 3, maybe even top 2 shortstop in the league. He just does it all. He hits for average. He hits for power. I think the only major knock against him is his strikeout rate. I think that's.
And he's got speed.
Yeah, and he's got speed. That's huge. There's especially for us, we don't got a lot of speed on this team.
No speed.
We got almost no speed. So I think trading a guy like Luke Voigt almost would be worth it. And moving DJ to first, obviously. DJ first, Torres to second, Story to short. We love our Colorado boys. Luke Voigt, I love you. I probably wouldn't do this for anybody else, just if there's an opportunity to get Story.
Yeah.
Maybe even put Story at third. Can he play third?
Probably.
He could probably play third.
Yeah.
And if maybe you do that and put Gio on the bench.
Or Gio to first.
No. Maybe Gio to second? No, Gio to short? No, but at that point, you just put Story at short. Either way, I think I would really like Story. I think that would be a huge move for the Yankees too. That's if Gleyber doesn't pan out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we could go – because I don't think we're trading for him at the deadline. I don't think we could outbid most of the other teams that would be interested in going to get him.
Yeah.
But we could definitely outpay most of the teams to go get him next year.
You're damn right.
Listen, next year, if we don't win a ring this year, there better be no talk about luxury cap. All right, there better be zero talk about that from us.
It's gonna rain in New York.
There better be zero talk about no luxury tax if we don't win a ring this year. I don't want to hear this BS excuse that we're trying to stay under. No, how? No, it's been.
You got money. You got money.
Over a decade since we won a ring. We need one now. You got money, like you said. Story's on the market. There shouldn't be no ifs, ands, or buts. We're getting a shortstop.
Damn right. Damn right.
And I don't care who else wants him. I think we want him more.
Well, Murph, Colorado sucks. Arenado's going to the Cardinals. It's going to be a fun year. I'm looking forward to baseball. Arenado's going to mess around and hit 300 yet again. Again, maybe? Again?
Again. He does this.
And the Yankees will be eventually in the mix for Trevor Story, in my opinion, and your opinion, as you so duly just said. Thank you very much for joining me today, Murph. It's been a great time on another episode of Off the Cuff. We'll see you all in the next one.